He's picking his. Oh, he's back.
Trying to get my computer running.
Yeah, he's picking his sister up from work. Or taking her to work.
Now he's just.
But yeah, I actually got. I can't remember what the damn thing's called now. The weapon in Saints Row. The music gun. I can't remember what the damn thing's called now. Is it called the bass cannon?
Yeah, it's another term for it, but.
The dubstep gun. Actually, I had a tin can on a stick that was it was enchanted infused with piercing shriek, which is 1d6 sonic damage. I think it was 1d6. Either way, I got the DM to authorize flavor text that it was actually a dubstep gun. So whenever I fired that, it dropped the bass. And at one point in time, it was used in an interrogation because I held somebody at point-blank range with it while they were pinned down. Start talking or I pull the trigger. Ever had someone just hold a subwoofer to your face and say if you don't start answering the questions, they put on the dubstep? I gotta fire up the stream. Ow.
Huh.
Parcels, items, spells.
Clicking the buttons.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what spell it was now. I'm looking through the list and I'm not seeing anything that stands out at me. Zone of Truth? That sounds like a game show.
What?
Zone of Truth is apparently a spell. It sounds like a game show.
It does sound like a game. That does sound like a game show.
I think Zone of Truth is like a very, very flexible way of attempting to not lie. Well, you have to remain truthful, but you can be very, very flexible in how you answer truthfully.
So basically, it's the zone of being a politician. If you stand inside this circle, you must speak like a politician.
If you stand in the zone, you have to do your best SNL Trump impression.
Yes. Well, you deserve some very strong words, and people like to use strong words.
Avoid this, please. T-Foxer, you still need to change your Discord icon.
I just changed it, dude.
Oh, probably just taking a second to update.
Did you change it and then click save? Because sometimes I changed it and then hit the X within it didn't save.
I've been guilty of that so many times.
I have too.
That might be the reason why it maybe didn't change. Because of the dirt.
There it goes.
Delayed blast fireball. That just sounds horrifying.
What's really horrifying about it is that you can cast it during time stop, which I would never do because that's just it's I think it's an oversight in game balance. So I tend to avoid stuff like that. I mean, technically during time stop, you can use Move Earth to create an enormous mine shaft under somebody, and then move the final piece of dirt under their feet. It will break time stop, and then they will fall and take a billion damage.
Yeah, but there's also the peasant railguns, so.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of really busted stuff you
I
can
mean,
do that I kind of
to be
tend to
fair,
avoid because it.
I think fall damage caps at what 12d6 or something. I know there's like a cap for fall damage.
Let me look.
Speaking from experience.
You know what? I think I know why I can't find the spell on this list.
20d6.
That character was made for 3.5e. This is all 5e.
Ooh.
Almost forgot to do with it.
Eh.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream.
Proliferate.
Okay. Hello everybody, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Serpent's Fable Dungeons and Dragons. We are doing a kind of reboot of the campaign. I will turn it over now to Festian, though.
Oh well, there's some miscommunications from what it originally was. So, what the group is actually going to be... Wait. Do we just start?
No reason
Do
we can't
what?
start whenever. I've got my sheet in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah, do an explanation and start us off.
In the all of a sudden, in the middle of this little town, there's this magical energy surge that seemed to cure, where for some reason 4 individuals come out of nowhere. One seems to be a anthropomorphic wolf, a fair-looking wolf, and a marten, and it seems to be a rat person. And when this happens, the locals seem to come over to the group, trying to figure that appeared there to figure out if they're all right. From the point of view of the ones that appeared there, seem to notice that they're in a rabbit's village, like town.
Are we conscious?
Yeah, we're conscious. You are awake. But you just magically... You'll be very confused, but you're there.
Yeah, so basically you were just doing your random whatever daily thing, and then suddenly, now you're here.
Just had the weirdest sensation of deja vu.
Well,
Jaffer is curled up asleep.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Woke up in a strange new
anyway,
place. I must have been drinking again.
And realize...
Timbo is all disorientated because he's in a different area, surrounded by people he doesn't know. He was in a hostile environment before this, so he withdraws his sword and points it at the closest thing to him, all around.
Don't point that
Where
bitch
am I?
at you.
Who are you people? Always gathered here as friends of foes.
The wolf and the rat.
Yep.
Timber, you're very muffled right now. You're talking through a pillow.
Or
Talking
with
to his helmet.
I think someone forgot to raise their helmet.
You forgot to raise his helmet again. Yep.
He lifts his helmet.
Wow, okay. I can hear you now.
He lifts his helmet, has his sword drawn, because he was in a hostile environment before this. Where am I? Who are you people? Are we gathered here as friend or foe?
Jaffer will wake up, look around, lazily do a stretch, before looking around again curiously.
Well,
I can hear the Looney Tunes clock ticking. Give him a second.
Are we... do we still know each other, or what?
No.
I think
Hey,
this
me
is
and
starting back at
Jaffer.
square one.
Jaffer.
But you're level 3. But you're in the middle of a town around an area that might give you information you need. But generally, just looking around, you're looked to be in a town square that has market-like stuff, shopping and that sort of things like that around you. It's very
So
obvious.
Jaffer would have been asleep on Shiro. And he'll just get up and stretch and be like, in everybody's heads, Shiro, where'd you take us this time?
I didn't do anything. I look around for the exit of the village.
Dog-eat is innocent of this crime.
Garrick's just looking around and he says, "Well, it looks like that scroll didn't take me where I wanted it to."
Oh, then
Is it just me, or there's some tasty-looking critters around here?
they're rabbit people. But
Good point.
yeah, they actually then you are approached by this elder rabbit that introduces himself as Mr. Snowshoe, and they're in the town of Snowshoe, and he's if they were brought here by a magical instability, which sadly they really don't understand how the magic stability, but if you want to look for answers, you can go to the Church of Forsetti.
Get a Jeffer. I may have touched a little shadowy circle thingy that was on the ground.
I mean, I
Can
roll a
really?
teleportation without choosing a spot first.
Anyways, also, well, if you need any supplies or anything before you can trade, look around, but also, be very careful. There's a group of elves that seem to have problems when individuals coming magically out of nowhere, as well animals that originally wouldn't be sentient becoming sentient would tend to get killed by them. And
Sounds like a flip group.
Yeah, once they detect this magic relationships instability, they're going to try to come over here and deal with it.
It's just the rehearsed synopsis of the guy who's had to see people blink into existence in this town square several times already.
Yep. Wait, because out of ironic. Yeah. Oh, and one other thing, and then he's like, meaning for someone going to first ed. Rosalia! Can you come over here? Maybe you can help him guide over there.
What? What do you need?
Well, we have random individual that came out of nowhere.
Oh, you got more sky poppers. Lovely. So just give them the general show of the town then?
It was just told off that was being too loud. Anyways. Sorry about that. That was...
As you were just told, this is a snowshoe. No, you're not the first people that have ever just blinked into existence in this town. Don't have a whole lot here, but should have whatever you need to get your bearings, and if you feel like it, find your way back wherever you were.
As well as maybe getting some food if you're hungry. If you don't have funds, that's perfectly fine.
Oh, we can. I want bacon.
You sure you want to mention food? They are carnivores.
Remember, remember our neighbors that we have, they might have something they can eat.
A rabbit stew would be nice.
No.
Shake my head and look at Jeffer. What's bacon?
You remember bacon?
Do I?
It's usually pork.
Yeah, it's what those humans tried to feed us.
Humans, of course.
Trying to tell us that, what they thought we weren't sentient.
No, humans eat meat. You can go talk to them.
Oh, but they, also, other than that, we do have a supply of fish if you want any of that.
Right.
I suppose that would suffice.
But if you want to get the resources, you have to go into the road and talk to these sky people, or they call them Felfessians, so... But other than that, moments later, this really, really big person among all these rabbit folks that completely stands out seems to have wings of a dragon and a tail of a dragon, and has like antler-like horns on his head and large, very similar ears to the rabbit folk. Oh, and he seems to be very frustrated about something. He's like, oh, wait.
Have something else blow up on you, Frank?
No, but I found something that concerns me. I went to go check on the rust hatchet. It was all destroyed. As in something like a giant, large dragon completely burned down the whole entire village. But
So I did hear you right the first time. Okay, that's concerning. So suddenly these people blinking into existence isn't the biggest thing to happen today.
Also, only thing that's still standing over there is a barn.
I'm immediately suspicious of that barn.
Also, when I came out there, someone dug a whole bunch of graves and buried bodies.
Okay, that indicates survivors. So that interesting thing just came up. I'm sure you guys can find your own way around the town. I'm gonna go. I have important stuff to tend to.
Like, I just hope.
All right. Have a good trip.
Well, unless you want to.
Where are those humans?
Yeah, that's the problem. The human village was destroyed.
Oh.
You
You got a forest nearby?
Yeah, there's one on the other side of the, once you get a road over there. Just be careful not going too deep, because you'll run across some stuff that are a little strange and magical. And if you try to climb on some of their trees, you might get stuck to it.
Yeah, that's a very angry forest.
Not sure why it's like that. Only heard there's a myth. There's possibly some magical sword in the middle of it. Because last time someone was saying they just, instead of actually going looking at it, they got scared and ran back out. That's something that you guys could actually go find if you want to. Because it might be helpful.
Since I just found out that stuff went down in Rust Hatchet, and I don't really have any reason beyond curiosity to be with the group, I'm gonna actually head to the church and see if anyone else knows anything about what happened.
Well, I guess if you want to follow be together in a group, you could have a choice to also look around, also get supplies if you need some from the town. There is also a blacksmith. So if you need anything.
I have no resources for supplies, but I have enough supplies.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna... Well, I have to report back to... I guess I reported here, but I can't really go with you because I was told to go check something that's further on south because there was some sort of abnormality that also occurred when you guys appeared that needs to be cleaned up. It's the thing that illness it's related to the illness, and we're thinking it's where the source is from.
Crap, I'm already out of earshot of this, aren't I?
Yeah.
Oh, alright.
More likely than the other. If anyone's are they gonna go? I recommend you guys stay together as a group because you're not very many of you.
Yeah, well,
do right now.
Go ahead.
So you're gonna follow Roselia to the Forsetti Church.
Yeah, I was just gonna have Temple say something.
Okay.
Yeah. Temple will dust himself off and go, I don't know why I'm here, but the Emperor sent me here. So I guess I should try to figure out why I'm here.
Also, before he goes, he just realized he forgot to give them something, so he gives it to Timber. It's this a weird box. It's drinks for you guys to carry on your thing to keep you from getting a heresy-related illness that you need to drink this to get rid of it.
Ah, I don't need that. He keeps it anyways.
And I guess you're off onto the road to Forsetti.
So Garrick's gonna tap Rose on the shoulder and say, "Hey, I'm a doctor."
Oh, you want to come with me to Rust Hatchet? I mean, if there were graves, that means there's survivors. They might need a doctor.
I'm kind of obligated to.
I mean,
Makes sense.
but if we well, I don't really have an NPC for you guys, but I think someone will come with you that is wanting to go along as trade stuff they need to deliver to the Forsetti, like help you that comes along with you. There was a wagon and 2 birds pulling it.
Shira's
Right,
just sorry.
I've posted the updated map in Serpent's Fable. I already gave it to Fessy a while ago. I don't know if you've got it uploaded to Fantasy Grounds or not.
No, because I remember when I tried to do that, it doesn't seem to let me do so.
Well, at least the players will be familiar with how the map looks.
Well, you can always post it in another location for the other people to look at it. If they're part of the group, the server.
Okay, that's fair. I will post it in... I have no idea which chat room I should put it in. Alright.
Shiro is thinking farm equals farmer, which equals sheep, which equals food.
Yeah, they're more likely, but it's Bunny Farm, so there's this people that have vegetation. But there's also another location. The reason why this person...
Yeah, the livestock there isn't raised for meat, it's raised for wool and milk and stuff.
Oh, and the wagon person's requesting if they can actually guard them on the way through that one weird, creepy, the field. They're asking requests for that so they can take the wagon of goods to the church. As well, that's another thing you have option to do.
How long is the cart ride gonna take?
It should take about 4 days.
Wait, we're in a cart.
No, we
Okay.
can get in. We can get in the cart if you want to, because they just have a delivery to go out there. Since you guys are generally going that way, and they're just wondering if you can guard them while they're so they can deliver the goods over there. Remember, escort.
Garrick
He
is,
says-
oh, sorry.
The rabbit says, the individual that's pulling it says, "I will pay you for it."
Garrick gives a big thumbs up and gets on the cart, and then pulls out his tinker tools and starts playing with them.
Anyone else getting on the wagon?
Tempo will get on the cart and stand in a place and do his best General Washington crossing the river thing.
This a wagon of supplies headed towards Rust Hatchet?
It's heading through Forsetti.
Forsetti.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't
That's
mind
not-
going the. It says he doesn't mind going the long way if they have to.
Right, Forsetti's not on the map. Where is this?
It's the church.
Oh, okay. So that's the church in Rust Hatchet, or the church in Snowshoe, or what?
Church on the mountain.
On the mountain. That would be in Cottondale.
Farmers with sheep that don't want to let us eat them. Or we go back to the woods and try to figure things out from there. With lots of game to hunt.
Excuse me.
What do you think, Sharo?
Well, it's a
Out of
new area. I'd be partial to exploring this area. I get a feel for the territory here.
Out of character, Tempo's an outlander and can hunt for up to 6 people.
After will kind of shrug and climb on the cart.
And of course I'm going to be going.
I'm not going to climb on the car. I'm just going to trot alongside it. Who needs carts?
Jaffer's gonna sniff around for food in the cart.
I'm not entirely sure why, but I suddenly feel compelled to clutch my rations closely where I can see them.
Timbo will give Jaffel one of his rations.
Oh, well, thank you. I
It's
think we
basically
lost
dog tail,
Bastian.
but it's something. The Empress's finest.
Bastian.
Your mic is muted.
Oof.
She might be having to deal with some IRL stuff.
All right, well, you basically get like this tin J4, and it's basically like dog chow.
It's basically done. Bastian's back.
Okay, sorry about that. I was told that I really need to be quiet once 10 comes around, because I didn't realize one of my housemates, when they don't get enough sleep, they get stressed, which leads to seizures.
Oof.
Ooh.
So I have to be careful how loud I am after a certain point. Which is understandable. Like I said, it's usually 10 when I'm here, but it's 8 when I'm at my mother's. Anyways, let's continue our little journey to, I guess, Hatchet?
Yeah, we're heading to the church in Rust Hatchet, right?
No, it's in, the church is actually in Cottontail, I just remembered.
Alright, so they would have been
what?
taking the...
It has been... Okay, you have moved it 3 times now.
They said it was on the mountain, and they haven't said which town it was in.
Yeah, like I
Yep.
said, it literally is in Cottontail, which is the town on the mountain.
Yeah, Cottontail and Rust Hatchet are both on the mountain. I was unsure which of the two, that's why I wanted to clarify.
It's Cottontail where they're gonna go, but you
So-
can still. But you could take the longer route, which will take about 6 days if we go through Rust Hatchet.
So basically, they were going to take the bypass road that goes straight to Cottontail, but since some of us need to go to Rust Hatchet, they're going to be making a detour through Rust Hatchet to get to Cottontail.
Okay, and that's what we're gonna be doing. And I guess we're gonna be on your little road trip to that
Exploration.
Yep. And I need to do something.
Territory exploration.
Anyone want to see if they can find anything anywhere by just looking around?
Garrick's just currently using his supplies to kind of put together bottles and little bits of kind of chemistry equipment.
Do you want us to do a perception check or like a survival check?
I have a question. What is everyone's perception again? I don't remember.
Timbo's saying he's not very perceptive if he's not looking well.
You
Mine-
can see our passive perception in the party sheet.
I'm working on that right now. I need to clean it.
Yeah, my passive perception is 15, and I get advantage on hearing rolls.
Sorry, I just need to put this one in there. There we go. Okay, let's...
Timbo's pretty good.
Okay. Well, both. Oh yeah, that's the ones that actually see it are the ones that have it high enough. Well, in the, just in the brief corner of the eye of Shiro and Gloomrat Hat, you thought you saw something skitter and go underneath the wagon. The Jaffer and Roselia see this purple spider go underneath the wagon and seems to go after one of the bird creatures. And it's about the size of half the size of the marten.
So this is while we're on the road?
Yep. And it seems to be purple in color.
So I saw something out the corner of my eye.
Yeah. It seems to be wanting to attack the rabbit individual driving that's trying to throw shoes at it because it seems to be wanting to attack the
If it's running along the underside of the wagon, heading up towards the draft animals, then I'm going to dash to the front of the wagon and be ready in a striking position if it pokes its head out.
Yeah. I just need to add the wonderful thing called Comet Tracker. I just need to remove some things on it.
Tempo doesn't know what's going on because nobody told him.
Yep. Sadly, you just don't have the perception for it. Unless you want to roll.
I get closer to the cart to see what's going on because I saw something moving towards the cart. So
Yeah. In other words, very much Jafter in Yep. You see this purple spider about the half the size of the marten trying everything to, I guess, attack one of the draft animals. In other words, the birds.
Right, so that at this point, it's actually.
Yes, it's full on aggressive, trying to go after the.
Well, I'm assuming Timbo's like doing like the George Washington thing, like right next to the driveway or whatever. So I guess he'll just pull out his longsword and. Or maybe how high is he up? Where he's standing?
He can see it just fine.
He's just wondering if he can hit it with his longsword, or does he need to pull a javelin out?
You might need to pull out a javelin.
All right, here you got. He pulled out a javelin.
But I recommend you also. Well, since it. Okay, you actually can try attacking it, or Zelia, if you want to.
All right, and yeah, this is like right behind the draft animals.
Mm-hmm. This in an area you can actually fit in between them because they're actually freaking out trying to step away from it.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. They are aware that it's there, so I'm not going to get down between the cart and them. I'm just going to throw a dart down at it.
Okay.
Tinkling Tiny, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. You hit. And dead. You see it, this go splat.
Just well, considering that I threw a dart, which is basically a needle, I just stapled it to the ground.
Pretty much, yeah. If you guys want to interact with it before I considered it dead, it is dead. But anyone?
So yeah, is it stapled to the wagon or stapled to the ground? That's actually important to note.
I poke at it.
Timbo's gonna try to calm the animals down.
That would be animal handling.
Alright.
I poke at the purple spider. Also,
it smells gross.
Okay, I'm just gonna get far away from it then.
Garrick's gonna look up, like half asleep, and go, "What? What's going on?"
You just they need to see this dead purple spider just pinned to the ground. Just a little.
Do I know what it is?
You would have to do a history.
Timbo's not really good at handling animals, but there was a 10.
All right. So I said history would be the check to see whether or not we know what these things are.
Huh?
You said the check to see if you recognize what the spider is.
What was the It would be a history.
Oh, I'm dragging the wrong thing.
Hello. Sorry, I know I keep driving.
I don't know how I roll a skill check.
Alright, so go to your skills tab of your character sheet.
Yeah.
and under the column that says total,
Yeah.
you see a little dice icon.
Yeah.
Click and drag that into the chat bar, into the chat area, and then drop it.
Okay.
Yeah. Jokingly, do you guys want some flavored chicken wings? Oh wait.
When the dice just doesn't like you.
Oh dear, it does not.
Wings.
Oh, and the Timber kind of failed at doing what he was doing. They just more like
Fine,
he
I'll
scared them.
grapple him.
Oh dear. And
Look,
the
he's woman.
Roselia realize what this is. This little thing is nasty. These little guys are nasty. When bitten, they can cause the taint flu effect on the person or a creature.
All right. I'm going to do my best job at. Actually, no, I'm not going to pull the dart out. Screw the dart. I'm just going to grab a torch and roast the thing.
But you also remember, burning it won't work.
Oh, all right.
And then you realize it will actually make more of them. I also bring it back to life. And
so, what's the best way to deal with them?
well, is what these guys is to electrocute them.
Just drop that in chat.
No idea.
Someone dropped that and came back in again. I didn't see who it was.
It was me.
Had to open his helmet.
I
I don't have any means of invoking electricity.
Yeah, that's the only thing you know, but you realize you can't do anything. But leaving it there is not a good idea. Hey, I have a shovel! The rabbit person.
I'm not getting anywhere near that.
I don't think splattering it would actually accomplish much of anything unless it's an electric shovel.
How much does it weigh?
Oh, the thing itself weighs barely
Electric?
like 5 electricity.
Yeah, these things, you gotta shock them to kill them. You try using fire and it just makes them angry.
And also,
Well, I
more of
can
them.
throw it. I have the Catapult Spell, which can throw an object up to 5 pounds.
Altogether of whatever.
Jaffer shoots an energy beam of lightning at it.
and it already has a metal dart stuck right through it. So,
Yep.
as we're sitting here having our discussion, it just goes off like popcorn.
Excuse me.
Now can we move on?
1 second.
This is boring. I want food.
I thought you already got food from that giant wolf sitting in the cart with you.
Well, yes, but I want more food.
You're always hungry, aren't you?
Well,
the days
I'm
with the
not
rockets.
hungry right now, but what about later?
What's
So,
second breakfast?
so actually, the Amaran instantly disintegrates it. Now you have your dart back now.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a leaf, use that to pick the dart up with, and carefully wipe it down before putting it back with the rest.
Okay. And I guess that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna remove this from the combat tractor. It's dead and gone and disintegrated. And I'm still trying to figure out how to remove something.
That was a taint creature. What are they doing this far south?
Don't
Don't mind me, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, those things are nasty. Don't want to get bitten by those things. Didn't you have to drink that weird concoction that the Fessians made? But it seems to work very well and very quickly.
Oh, you mean gag tea? Yeah, no thanks.
Don't worry, if any of you guys get messed up, I'll just patch you up. I have a bag of many tricks. Many tricks to heal you.
You got any lozenges in that bag?
Yeah. I guess you guys continue.
Whatever
your
bones
journey
is, that's not
journey-
political.
journey to. Oh, I guess Fresh Half. Okay.
Wired, you forgot 11sies.
I guess that's event for the time being.
If I've got if I got no reason to be doing anything else, then I'm going to spend the rest of the time meditating and playing my flute.
In the wagon.
Yep.
Okay.
Da.
That doesn't sound too bad. Well, the animals already calmed down anyways. They just, after the thick creature was gone, they seem to be, like, completely fine of walking forward now. I guess Timber needs to get back into the wagon.
Timbo gets back and does his pose again. He stands so menacingly.
Anyways, everyone back in the wagon?
Yeah.
Okay,
I never
just
laughed.
You never left.
I never got on.
So you're just following.
Yeah, I'm just trotting on the side of it.
Getting antsy. If we be adventurers, let us adventure.
This adventure.
What is the item thing? What they want?
Green tea ice cream? I'm just genuinely curious.
You mean matcha?
Ice cream.
Matcha?
Yep, that's okay.
It was an ethereal influence that was just
Pretty much a bowl of random of this green tea ice cream just appears and
or could just be that happened to be on the supplies. That works too.
Well, no, it actually is ice cream because they don't really pack. They don't have ways to pack frozen things.
Fair.
So this appears out of nowhere. This casually, just sitting there. And it smells like green tea.
I'm playing my flute.
But you more likely smell it.
Last time I trusted food that teleported to me, it didn't go well.
Fine, if you won't eat it, I'll eat it.
It tastes refreshing and also creamy.
Tell you what, I got an eye on gut. If it haunts me, then we know it's bad.
I mean, not an incorrect conclusion. So yeah, knock yourself out, I guess. Wolves will eat anything.
Pibble picks it up and investigates it.
The ball.
He eats or drinks it.
He'll just eat.
Mon.
That's crazy.
Then the bowl isn't. Sadly, you more likely hurt your teeth on the bowl, though.
That's fine.
I want this one. Can I have boneless?
Yeah, they're all gone.
Okay.
Ice cream that's boneless. Mm.
No, sorry, someone's ordered food. Would you like some? Just kidding. I don't think it will magically manage to go there unless you give it unless someone gets another influence. You guys get some random chicken.
Timbo is upset that his ice cream is boneless, but he doesn't get a brain freeze because he has none.
Well, now you try your bowl.
He's disappointed with this boneless dip.
Yep.
He's disappointed that he got boneless ice cream and he didn't get the brain freeze. Just got the freeze.
Yeah, and then I guess you also require a metal bowl.
Wow.
Hey, I'm knowing him. He ate the whole thing, and it was supposed to be a shared serving, and he just ate the whole thing.
Nobody wanted to eat it.
You also
Timbo
feel
Jasper
avoids
will
to eat
remember
all his
this.
food.
he ate
Just
mine.
imagine there's
He ate
starving
mine.
conscripts in Balkistan.
Yep, because he could have. Well, you could have offered some to somebody else other than just consuming it all in one go. Which
Nobody wanted it.
I don't
No.
even know what ice cream is. Why would I want it?
It's kind of like a snowball.
It's kind of like sherbet, but for whatever reason, they decide to make it out of milk.
adding,
hate poisoned milk.
Humans just go nuts for it.
and also I think the other flavor it's kind of a hint of vanilla in there.
Timbo loves this, but he doesn't know how to describe it because he's used to eating slop.
He doesn't have a word for sweet.
You know, we have something similar in my city, but it's made with garlic.
Go on.
Yeah, we stick it in a closet till it turns black.
That sounds like a very interesting way to make cheese.
Whatever that is, it sounds delicious.
Yeah, you put garlic in a closet until it turns black.
Yeah, black mold grown on garlic. I've heard that as the precursor for making drugs. So sure.
Timbo takes one of his rations and opens it and shows it to Tanya.
What do you mean I'm so used to eating this garbage?
Hold on a second.
I'm so used to eating the Empress's finest dog chow.
That's not just slop. That's slop with meat and stuff in it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's canned
basically
food.
dog chow.
More likely they would have packed food.
Okay, so I'm just looking away from it. Like, yeah, I get the point.
Yeah, you're basically looking at conscript food for wolf people.
My hamster is getting
Yeah, I was checking to see whether or not I'm actually physically made sick by it. Because you're shoving meaty slop in the face of an herbivore.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh, and then Timber just gets covered in the same flavored ice cream. Magically, for some reason.
Wait,
First the minor theory, but now the moderate. I'm just waiting for the major one where he now is the ice cream.
wait, who?
He just gets coated in this vanilla tea flavor.
Wait, me?
No,
Oh,
Timber.
Timber. Yeah, just a whole bucket of ice cream is now falling on him.
Praise the Empress! Today is a good day!
He feels
He's
cold.
just so cramming his face full of whatever. Oh my!
I wonder if I even
Thank you.
noticed that going on.
Yeah, it's a whitish colored material, and it's kind of easy to see.
And I'm just slack-jawed at the sight of this palladog that is now licking himself all over.
I don't think I noticed. Do I?
Yeah, you notice it naturally, actually. It's a very subtle thing, especially if it's smell-related.
Especially with Timbo putting out the Empress.
He's, licking it off of his armor, I bet.
Ice cream doesn't smell.
Yeah, it smells like vanilla and tea.
Well, at least Timbo smells better now.
Yeah, he does. Till it spoils.
Yeah, when sour milk actually is an improvement.
I guess
Garrett's
that's
just completely oblivious. Just his supplies, his tinker's tools have just taken over half the wagon space as he's just working on whatever he's doing.
Okay, people are going really crazy with the ethereal influences right now.
And after eating all of this,
Here, have some. Timbo mashes some in her face.
he's like,
Jaffer is going to start sniffing around all of the Tinker's supplies
My hamster is getting antsy.
before
If you will
grabbing
let
something
us
that looks
adventure.
important and running off with it.
and then you guys, well, he actually gets a grin freeze from eating that this time.
Okay, so Jaffer running off with the thing, wouldn't that be sleight of hand versus everyone else's passive perception?
Yeah. More likely, the one that would have saw that would have been Rosalia if it was high, because he did the sleight of hand. But
I
since
don't.
I
don't
wasn't
think
really
anywhere.
trying to hide it.
I know,
Oh,
but just no.
There's no reason to require a roll when I'm not trying to hide it at all.
That's that. Yeah, I know.
Gloom, I think you're being robbed.
Garrick's just gonna look up and say, "If you like healing potions, you're gonna give that back."
What are these healing potions?
It's like a bottle of red stuff, and if you drink it, it heals your injuries.
What's a bottle?
It's a thing you keep water in.
Or liquid general.
Oh! You mean this thing here on my back?
Noble animals are always so interesting.
I'm pretty sure at this time Temple's getting his first sugar rush he ever had.
Yeah. How much ice cream did he actually eat? Does he need to have a constitution save from not being ill from all that sugar? I'm debating on that.
Well, I mean, it's up to you. Do you want Temple to smell worse than he already does?
No, but sadly, how much he did
river.
Because he got a brain freeze, and also he's eating all the ice cream off of himself. If you get the idea how much sugar he's intaking.
For someone who's never had sugar before.
So yeah, this is the veritable circus. How much time has passed?
You see and out of this chaos, in the horizon, you see, what Frank said. The poor village looks like it was completely disintegrated by
This
fire.
is the rust hatchet that we've arrived at?
Yep. And
gonna describe the town?
Well, there's not much to describe other than there's burning buildings and buildings that originally were on fire. They're put out because it seems like it rained recently, but the area looks like it's been like that for about a week.
Temple is upset that it's not on fire anymore.
I was gonna be more along the reason of why it's called Rust Hatchet. You know, painting an image and all that.
Oh, you know why it's Rust Hatchet if you helped when they did the famine at that one time.
For the audience, so the audience knows what's going on.
Yes, when originally, a long time ago, the Rapid folks came to actually help this town from a famine one winter. Because they were out of food supply because of a blight on their crops. And they asked for help because they needed food. And since that day, they seems to make friends. They seem to be good friends, but also the real story behind it, because of the way it's named, is because there is a ore deposit in a certain section that looks like, a hatchet got stuck into the ground.
A section of the mountainside that's eroded away. It revealed a massive iron deposit which has rusted due to exposure, and it resembles a large axe head buried in the middle of the city, or the middle of the village, which somewhat divides the flat plain that the village was built on.
So why did we come to this burned down place?
To see if there's any survivors, I guess. That's from your guys' driver says.
So
and actually,
we must deal with the survivors.
Garrick packs up all of his tinker's tools. Hopefully, Jaffer has given his wrench back.
I make an investigation.
I suppose he'll give it back.
I
I'd
investigate.
instead steal something else.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking around, seeing if there's any signs of survivors, anyone in need of aid, any clues to where the fire might have originated, that sort of thing.
That would be an investigation.
I did not find anything.
Nope, you do not.
I guess Timbo will help Tanya.
I only did slightly better.
Well, you didn't kind of generally where you see the direction it's coming from, but you're not exactly too sure.
So Garrick has probably jumped off the cart and now has a set of alchemist supplies that he's produced using his tinker's tools, because that's one of my features. So he's just like somehow created this entire set of bottles and beakers and
Sorry, I was trying to roll perception.
But your passive perception is high enough to notice what you're seeing around you, though. Anyways,
If I'm actively looking around, scouting for things, wouldn't that be an actual roll?
No, yes, that would be actually a roll. But the only obvious thing that seems to stand out of, well, in the middle of town, it's because it's this seems to be a package of some sort of sweet.
Timbo tried to investigate, but then he got distracted by the beautiful sight of Vaughn's building.
My, what combustible yet rustic architecture. I think I'll have a closer look.
Pretty much what you see is this package of some sort of
victory.
A small package of some sort of sweets that seems to be packaged. But sadly, only people that tend to have fancy packages like this is Fessian related.
And it's just sitting out in the middle of the open, perfectly fine, undamaged, untouched.
Yep.
I cast bullshit on that package.
Agreed, we won't touch it.
Wait, what is in the middle of the weird patch thing?
There's just a package of. It's a small package that seems to have 2 little cakes inside of it. It's perfectly sealed still.
How do we see that there's 2 cakes inside a package that's perfectly sealed?
Well, it's translucent.
Like plastic or glass or whatever?
It's actually plastic.
Garrick's gonna look around and see if he can find survivors.
Okay.
And that's how I recognize it as Festian, is that plastic is a technology that only they would have access to. So if I've seen it before, like, oh yeah, that's that weird flexible glass stuff they work with.
They're actually also kind of that yellowy color, and they seem to have cream in the middle of them.
So,
This reminds me of my childhood. Fall down building.
Sorry, go on.
I'm sorry.
It's a pair of incredibly suspicious sweets in the middle of the burned town. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that thing.
Well, fine, if you're gonna... Tim
More
will
likely.
go over and pick it up.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to do anything.
Temple doesn't know what plastic is.
Other than it looks like food inside of it.
So Timbo will take a bite out of it and eat the cake with the shell.
The shell doesn't taste very good, but the inside does.
Fine, he'll just suck the cake out of it then.
And nothing adverse seems to be happening?
Nope. And then
Thank God, this is good.
It tastes like cream and sponge cake.
I don't know what that means, but it's delicious.
That's pretty much what it is. But that's pretty much, it just tastes creamy and cake.
This has just been an endless parade of Timber getting all the sweets he could ever want. And they
I don't even know what a sweet is, but I'm eating it.
And
I look around the town to see if there's anything else interesting.
Well,
J-Ball, come here.
Well,
you gotta try this.
Well, no, Well, kind of the more obvious things that you found is this where they buried the people at.
Alright, I'm gonna head over that direction, looking for footprints, signs of tool use, that sort of thing. Try to track down who it was that buried them.
Garrick's following.
Jaffer's gonna go sniff at these cakes.
They were eaten by Timber.
I ate one of them. I didn't eat the other one yet. That's why I'm giving it to him.
Jaffer will hide it in his pack.
I have no interest in cake, so I shall go over to the impromptu
It
grave.
smells delicious.
I have no freaking clue who buried them or where they went.
Nope.
Where did the ground go, guys?
You just know it's dug up dirt, and you're not even too sure it's eating bodies.
Yeah, the messed up part is if, Timber had rolled that, he would have...
Oh.
Rolled a 1! He would have rolled a 1. Like that! Thanks for the demonstration, Shiro.
No, he rolled a 1. What happens when he was doing an investigation?
Maybe I just trip over a grave or something.
Yep.
If Timber rolls a 1 on investigation, he would actually be getting effective 0, so he would forget what direction the ground is.
You guys have no idea what's going on.
Tell me something I don't know.
I have a face full of dirt, that's what I know.
Yep. And then, I guess, I wonder if Jaffer's gonna check out the graves or just look around elsewhere.
How funny would it be if Timble got the best investigation despite having a -1 modifier?
Well, it's kind of an obvious thing. They just look like graves. So, that's what you know.
I don't know what kind of motivation Jaffer would have to be interested in graves.
That's true. He doesn't have to. That's why I'm saying if he's mildly curious, that's up to him. Or you. Relation to your character. But that's okay. I guess mostly the looking around is this. You don't know. You guys found the barn, though, that's still standing because it stands out like a sore thumb. It looks like someone left it looks like someone left one of the doors open.
I don't like the uniformity of this town.
Well, Garrick's gonna walk up to the barn and look inside.
Yes. The only thing uniform is that everything is burned down. Of course,
everything but the barn.
Okay, that's what you meant. Could you hold off on the paladin boner for just one moment, please? I'm going to go over to the barn and start examining it. First, looking at the ground around it, just as a precaution. If there's any signs of, like, traps or if, like, magically, for whatever reason, the grass isn't burned around it, that sort of thing.
It's just some reason to be far enough away not to be affected by it.
So it just happened to be in a big clearing?
So I had said a moment ago that I walked up and looked, tried to see if I could, like, look in the door of the barn.
You see that someone was messing around with shovels.
DM?
Yes?
You think Temple could find, like, a pitchfork, since this is, like, a farm place?
Mm-hmm. But, when you guys get over there, you have to go look around in there first before if you can find one.
I know, Temple's gonna look for one. Because he already has a torch, he needs a pitchfork.
Oh, this lets you know, when you just look around, all the tools are gone except maybe a single shovel.
A shovel will do.
I go look around the backside of the barn. I'm not going inside.
Looks like someone did. Looks like an individual's more likely grabbed the stuff and brought it to somewhere else. Because you can very obviously see that there's wagon tracks right next to the barn. With any, like Roselia and would have seen. So some people did survive. They just left.
So they've already skedaddled. Then it's the barn's abandoned.
Mm-hmm. It's just an empty building with nothing really special about it, other than that random shovel that was left behind. It seems like it was freshly used, not long ago, like maybe a day or two ago. or somewhere about that. It's a very like I'm just saying because it's a very simple thing. Is it looks like it has dirt on it, as in it has been recently used. Because sometimes they don't really clean them off. Sometimes, but that does have dirt that seems to have been wet that was stuck to it at one
Who
point.
would make such world-ending weapon?
Anyways, so far as I guess looking around, you guys don't even really found anything quite yet.
Okay, I missed it. What is he saying is a world-ending weapon?
Yeah, that's what he said what the shovel was.
The shovel, ah.
Yep, there's...
So, maybe just don't randomly digging around.
Well, if you want to look around, you went to this part of the thing, but are you going to go to the other side of the town?
I go back to the wagon.
Timber will go to the other side of the town.
You actually see something just on this next to a looks to be what remains of a stone building, where there seems to be a burnt outline of a person.
Timber makes a happy squeal.
Shiro actually would notice that.
Wait, who sees what? Where?
On a side of a stone wall remaining of a building.
I go towards what I saw, I guess.
You literally see a burnt shape of a person.
Ooh.
A burnt shape of a person.
Yep. In other words, the shadow, kind of like a shadow, but it's permanently there. Made of.
I go up and investigate it.
Yeah, we call these Hiroshima ghosts after the fabled mage Hiroshima, who really loved fireballs. In the end, they were his end.
I'm not really.
That sounds wonderful.
It just looks like a burnt person to me.
If only the Empress had.
What?
Uh-oh.
What they asking?
Well, we're born in daylight, guys.
Now, there's a major ethereal influence just got redeemed. I think Zim's reading it right now.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, I guess after all that sugar, it kind of made Timber addicted to it. Like,
oh no! Oh no, he's got a taste for it. He's got a taste for it now.
He has suddenly gained a sweet tooth.
Yep. It just wore out his system. He wants more, but he can't find more.
Temple be like, scones for the scone god, sugar for the sugar canes.
Sugar. Let's hope he doesn't get diabetes. Anyways.
Diabetes? I would totally diabetes for the Empress.
Yeah, it's a larger version of the fabled beetus that lives in these mountains. The dire beetus is very difficult to beat.
I would totally diabetes for the Empress.
The diabetes can only be beaten with proper diet and exercise.
Yes, only physically fit people who watch what they eat can beat diabetes.
Are you kidding me? I lift all the heavy stuff, and I eat all the food. How do you think I got so big?
See, that's the thing. If you eat too much, diabetes will win.
Impossible. Temple wants to eat more food just to prove her wrong.
What even is this group at this point? Oh my god.
Hey, well.
Garrick's just looking at everyone, just kind of like thinking to himself, it's a really good thing I came along. These idiots are liable to get themselves killed.
Is there anything to this burnt figurine of a person?
Oh, just like if you turn around and look away from it, you see this little, looks like a crater of an explosion.
So yeah, it's legit just a Hiroshima ghost from whatever blew up in the middle of the town.
Jaffer is crawling into Rosalia's backpack while she's distracted.
And you roll. How dare you roll so high on that? You're forbidden from D20s.
Just kidding. You'd be like, no, you have to let that happen.
I know I do. I just don't have to be happy about it.
Yep.
I mean, you could try and roll better.
That's a...
Actually,
if it's hearing...
If I roll a 20, if I actually roll a 20, I will match that. Nope.
Nope.
Well, you know what?
Jaffer is storing all of her rations in his pack. Well, all except for one. He'll leave one behind.
So it begins.
And then he stealths back out of the backpack.
You have to roll a second stealth on the way out, wouldn't you? And that's lower than my passive. Hey! What the heck are you doing?
He must be magic. I didn't see him going.
I'm just looking around. I'm bored.
That would be a deception.
I mean, he is bored.
Damn it!
But
you don't. But if you roll anything other than a crit fail on the deception,
seems
you
legit.
believe him.
Well, look around somewhere else. Leave my bag alone.
Okay. So I assume she had 10 rations in there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guess
So
that's
now
one
I have 1 instead of 9.
One ration. Well, we will definitely figure something's off when you actually try to eat.
I gotta go 1 moment.
Okay. What time is it?
You guys know it. Oh my god. Empress. I'm on that. Whatever I ate. I don't know what it's called, but it's delicious.
He wants more cake, but he doesn't know how to get more.
Timber.
I shrug because I don't know what sugar is.
Yeah, Timber doesn't know what sugar is, but he's addicted to it now. He doesn't know how to ask for it.
He knows what it is as far as flavor goes. He just doesn't know how to request it because he doesn't have a word for it.
Describe it, I guess. Although that is good.
It's creamy. Tastes like
He probably doesn't know how creamy it is.
bread-ish kind of like type thing.
Like you know that thing that pork has, but that the ham has, but beef doesn't. It's like that, but more of it.
Well, the fact that Timber doesn't know what it is and is used to eating slop and is socially
that's what I'm
awkward
saying.
as hell, this is going to be awesome.
I'm just saying that would be the best way that could describe
For
it.
giving Timber more shenanigans.
Meanwhile, are you guys gonna go to Forseti now?
Yeah.
Got no
There's
reason to
nothing
stay
here for me.
Anyone that was alive is already gone. This place has been totally hellgunned. But
It's
at
okay,
least now
you
we
did
know
that.
it seems to be at least one major blast that set off the fires.
And
But
we
you
got
have
to
no idea what it is, though. entertaining.
Alright, so I'm back on the wagon then.
Garrick's back on the wagon too. Just
Um,
hops in and finds a place to slump down and take his big pointy hat and kind of like
give
use
me
the
a
brim
moment.
to cover his face as he takes it like a cat nap.
Okay, so I don't do anything. I sit in the wagon and wait for everyone else to pile in.
It's a little sad to see this village all burnt down like this, Roselia. It's a buddy. I don't have a name for him.
Oh, well, it's humans that were sympathetic to the rabbits, which means this is a major political blow. And I'm sure that there's more political nuance to it than that, but that's about as far as Rose understands politics.
That's how far the rabbit hole goes.
She's just upset because this is the only place she knew where she could get various human goods without having a whole stink about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sybil was only upset that he didn't fall
And also,
down.
yeah, but the only people that are going to be more devastated about this, because they were their only other source of food, is the Fastians. Because remember, they're omnivores as well, so they can handle eating veggies so long.
Exactly. When you're an omnivore, going vegan can be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just gotta have a steak.
Well, they know where they can get their fish from, though, because of the capital. Because of that lake.
But yeah, I've got no reason to do anything other than sit in the wagon and play my flute.
Tempo's gonna pace back and forth in the wagon.
Although I apparently am very distracted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, it's a 7. It's a 7. I thought I rolled a 1 for a second there.
You're okay. It's not as good as originally. You maybe feel a little sadder than normal, but
I thought I rolled a 1. It's like, yeah, I'm way too fucking distracted to play right now.
Oh, I know what happened. One, you're distraught, and two, Tempo's walking back and forth, and you're trying not to get hit by him.
yeah. And I guess you guys are working your way to the Furry.
So yeah, we're heading through to Cottontail.
Okay. Decent. Yeah, we're heading to Cottontail.
Yep.
Because Highforge doesn't like them. Anyway. Fort. Over there a bit. In which is gonna... I guess you're gonna just do some traveling, then we're gonna have...
So yeah, if we're heading along the southern of the two roads coming out of Cottontail, then
they'll be going by this cave.
So on one side of the road, to our left, there's a very picturesque view of a forest that just goes on towards the horizon. You can just barely see that there's some ocean in the distance off to the southwest. And to the right of us is rocks, more rocks, a lot of rocks, a hole in the middle of some rocks, and then some rocks that are brown.
There's just a cave.
I go peek into the hole in the side of the rocks.
You smell the icky smell coming from it.
It's the same smell as the spider from before.
And on top of it, 1 second. Well, 3 of these tiny, more of these taintlings just come charging at you. Roll initiative.
More of these smelly things.
Guys.
Roll an initiative.
Initiative.
Ooh, there you are. Bonk. No.
You know, I have a
One
feeling the
drop
dice does not like us this game.
I was looking the opposite direction because I was admiring the view. So I appreciate the little things in life.
At least you guys know what can take it out. If you have the spell type, though. But I think you can still damage it and have someone.
I'm not currently in the initiative or in the combat tracker for some reason.
Someone pick up the Martin and aim it at him. Use him like a rifle.
Oh, 1 second. Are you in here
Loads
now?
Malton with delicious intent.
Let's roll. Wait,
Do
can
I
I
roll
actually
again?
edit
I got
this?
an 11.
I can just put it in here. Oh, I can manually put it in there. Thank goodness. In we go. It's Shira's turn. I guess you get to deal with the things that want to bite you.
Spiderlings. How close are they to me?
They're about 10 feet from you.
Oh, I'm going to back up because they smell really bad. And I'm going to throw a bolt of chaos at one of them. If I can actually pull up the spells.
You hit. And dead.
Okay, and
you just disintegrate that one.
that's a 6 and a 7. It only does a psychic damage. Yeah, and I back up really as far as I can go, like 40 feet, I guess, 30 feet, I guess. And
They don't move very fast, so they only move up to 15. Even though you notice that they just ran at you, then stop running. They're targeting you because they're the first thing you saw.
Alright. Jaffer is going to throw an energy beam of lightning at that one.
Oh. But wait. Yeah, you actually were able to hit it. And it's you only did one.
It's saved for half.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, I'm doing at least 1 point of damage with this.
It's like I said, it's one way to destroy their body, but once you start hitting them, they don't do very well at resisting it. Well, I guess one is gonna try. Tried to bite the no, actually he's gonna run up, but it doesn't seem to make it over to the what's his face, but no, and then it do the next one. It does, they do the, run up. It's trying to go to Shiro, and they don't get close enough to do anything. Like I said, they don't move. They move fast, but it takes a while for them to get to locations. Now it's...
Yeah, because they're down deep in the cave and we're still at the entrance.
Yep.
So, how far away is Garrick from everything? Because he was on the cart.
He's about... You're about maybe 40 feet from the mouth of the cave. And deeper within the cave, it will be about another 20 on top of that. Where the spider things, the lings are.
Okay, so Garrick's gonna run up so that he can actually see into the cave.
Okay.
And then I'm not quite sure how combat works in Fantasy Grounds. This is my first time doing it.
You grab the dice you need to use to hit, if you need to hit, and drag it into the chat.
Okay, so how do I choose my targets?
Oh, you select it over the creature you're trying to drop the dice on top of the creature.
Click the cross swords in the upper right corner to open the combat tracker.
Oh.
And then the combat tracker.
And then you drag either the attack or the save, depending on the spell or ability, onto your target.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they open already.
Okay, so I'm going to take out my light crossbow and run up. I'm going to shoot this guy.
You grab the 2 hit die and plop it on top of it. Oh dear.
Oh, well that's an automatic miss.
What will happen?
I don't have my cards with me, so up to you, Festian.
I'm gonna. How many? Who's in front of him?
It was a crit fail with the crossbow, right?
Who was in front of him?
Wouldn't I be the closest in front? I don't know.
I'm gonna see.
Just saying, you have the option that it could have just been a misfire. The wire jumped
Well,
or something.
What I'm figuring is my character went to go shoot his shot, and then he just got this horrible ache in his shoulder, and he's like, ah! And then he just like shot the roof of the cave.
Yeah, he pretty much did. He did like you did.
Yeah, he was napping in the wagon. He got a cramped muscle. He didn't realize it until after he got up. So there you go. There's where your crit came from.
Anyways, I guess you're done. You just see the little, and then the little thing that looks like a little dragon thing with the arrow. If you click on that and the combat tracker, it'll go to the next person.
So after that, Garrick is going to go. Oh shit! Make like a rat sound. And then you just see his boots start glowing as he shuffles his feet, and then he just pops 15 feet behind where he was because of his shoes. So he activated Boots of the Winding Path there.
Anyways.
Boots of the Winding Path?
Yeah, it's an infusion for Artificer.
Alright, so how far away is Timble?
Timber is he in the cart?
Yeah.
That may be the first time I've ever seen Boots of the Winding Path actually used in an effective way.
Yeah, that's a cool item.
Oh, you're about 60 feet from the combat.
Alright, so Timble's gonna jump down from the wagon.
Never you can eat.
He doesn't withdraw his longsword, but he runs forward 30 feet and he dashes 60.
Dash would take your attack action, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you won't be able to do anything.
No, I still have a plan.
But you can't.
No, I know what I'm doing. But how far away? If I have 60 feet of movement, how close am I to those?
You're right in front of them.
All right. Timble goes, "It's me you want. Empress protects." And he pulls off one of his scrolls, licks it with his bonus action, and puts on Shield of Faith.
On himself?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to drag the ability and put it on yourself.
Hold on just one moment. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alright. I edited Temple's AC, and that's all you can do.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. An IRL thing came up.
It's your turn now.
Alrighty. So you said that they were 60 feet away?
From the wagon.
Oh,
Darting them might be great.
yeah, I'm just trying to find a thing here. Oh, it scrolled on me. That's why I couldn't find it. So, yeah, Step of the Wind. I can use that to take a dash action as a bonus action. So that means that I can get dash distance without burning my attack, right?
Yep.
Right, so, yeah. Basically, when he licks his scroll and says that thing, I'm already standing next to him at that point then.
And then you're gonna throw darts at them? Because you don't want to touch them?
Well, I'm within... Are you allowed to burn more than one key point per turn?
I'm okay with that.
Oh, let's Oof. Okay, wait, no. So Step of the Wind and Flurry of Blows are both considered bonus actions. I only get one of those, right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
So you have to physically do something else. That's an action that isn't that considered as an action.
Where are you? There it is. Open hand.
Tim was kind of confused, like, I sprinted, but she's right behind me. What?
Yeah, I'm just going to kick the nearest one then. Not really a whole lot of options I have because I can't burn open hand technique on the same turn as Step of the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Tim was like puffing and puffing.
That would be considered an unarmed strike since that's considered an unarmed strike since I'm not using the racial kick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, no, I could actually use the racial kick, couldn't I?
Yeah. You just might have to clean your foot afterwards.
This is true. So I just used the regular dice that I use for unarmed strike. And oh no,
yeah.
there! I found it. All right.
And you hit.
Hit for 2 damage, and it has to make a strength saving roll to not be knocked backwards by the kick.
Let's see. Oh, it's not that one. The other one. What it needs to do?
The rabbit's racial kick. It's a strength saving roll of where are you?
Does it need a saving throw of what?
Attacks for 1d4 bludgeoning. I rolled for that. The target may make a strength saving throw against 10 plus your strength modifier or be pushed back 5 feet and knocked prone. My strength modifier is +1.
I think you kicked it so hard it went splat onto the cave.
He just delete us, okay.
It's dead.
Well, that means he knocked it down forever.
It's dead. If you hit it hard enough, it's because it got a 1.
Well, seeing how effective that last ball of chaos did, I'm going to throw another ball of chaos at the other snake, or spider.
No, they're not sniders. We're not fighting those yet.
Yeah, it smells. I'm just throwing energy at it.
Damn it, die. You missed.
I'm bolting the sushi.
You actually missed.
Well, I'm gonna back up more because, once again, it smells.
That jingly noise, that was the sound of him backing up. Just ding ding ding.
Jaffer's going to throw another energy beam.
And there you go. And
God
it's still
damn
up.
it.
How? Oh,
It's
it's
not-
saved. That's why. Okay.
Hmm.
Still sitting there.
It's
I
being
will
a menacingly purple spider.
Find something to stop it.
It's an ugly little. It's a little thing. Like it is like kind of hissing and at you.
Out of character. I throw a wrench at it.
I got nothing.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a dodgeball.
Ironically, even though you guys are all there, its head said to just go after Shiro.
Why?
Attack of opportunity.
Yep. It wants to hit it.
I will.
Why do the spiders hate me so? They smell so bad.
They were attracted
I
to
will
you.
happily take an attack of opportunity as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any perks related to that.
Ah, missed.
It's your reaction.
And
Okay, so wait, I don't need to have any special skills for an attack of opportunity?
Just punch
You
it as a
don't.
reaction.
you have to hit it with a melee attack. So you could kick it. You missed.
Yeah, that's a great theory. That is a great theory.
Well, we missed. Now Timber has to
I
smack
noticed.
that thing. He can stomp on it if he wants to.
All I succeeded in doing was kicking Timber.
Yeah.
Kicking Timbo into it.
And
Wombo combo.
yeah, you can hit it. And dead.
Splat!
Remember, their corpses are still there, so you might have to clean those up with the rest of the little bit of static that you can produce.
So
Roselia kicks Temple into it and he just stabs right through it.
Yeah, my eyes were tracking the spider, not tracking Timber, so I went to kick, and I ended up just kicking his leg at the same time he kicks. There you go. That's how that happened.
It's okay, I'm dummy thick.
I don't know why these spiders took so much offense to me calling them smelly.
Maybe because they saw you first. It's kind
Man,
of
these things are dumber than me.
yeah. It's because they're. The wagon person says it's because they're a parasite. I guess they were going after him because he had all this magical energy.
Sounds like heresy to me.
Me? Magical? No. Would that be a deception?
It might be a disadvantage because they just saw what you did. The cart driver did.
Oh, so just okay, just disadvantage.
Don't believe you.
Alright, so what's he doing? I had more IRL stuff pop up. I forgot to say.
Oh,
it
he
was
was
going
trying.
Temple believes Shiro.
I was trying to convince the wagon handler that I was not magical.
He don't.
At least
believe
Temple
you.
believes you're not magical.
Well, they're doing that. I'm going to take some of the cleansing stuff, and I'm going to thoroughly scrub my foot down.
Yep. Because you can use it as a washing agent as well as something to drink.
Can I look around this area?
Oh no! I just realized Timber physically touched one of them too, so gonna have to
With
convince
his
him to wash
longsword.
his foot.
No, it was actually
He used his
the
longsword.
sword.
Oh, he used the sword to attack it.
So
Yeah.
he's
Though,
Hey.
it's a disease, correct?
Timber, you need to put some of this cleansing oil on your sword. It contacted an unclean thing.
It's a disease, correct?
Yes.
Temple sheathed the sword.
Okay.
Temple now has a disease sword.
Crusaders.
Temple looks to the Rosalia and goes, "The Empress shall protect me from any disease."
Yeah, but what about any innocent civilians that end up getting infected down the road because your victims got back up again an hour later?
My blade only strikes the guilty.
Then you'll have guilty zombies
Jasper's
running
just
around.
gonna go around doing the energy beam lightning on all of them.
I'm firing my laser. What an interesting. I don't even know what he is, but that's pretty cool.
No, you can't just have small woodland creatures using energy weapons. Haha, Martin go brrr.
All right, so Temple's gonna look around this place.
Well, as you go inside, it's just a very dark cavern that you're going into.
Dark vision.
Yep. And you look around, it just keeps on a big, long, winding path deeper
As
into
I do
the
not
cavern. have
have dark vision and do not trust the timber yet, I'm going to light up a torch and follow him.
Temple will go 80 feet, and if it keeps on
Ironically,
going,
when those creatures are disintegrated, the smell goes away.
I'm going to stay at least 30 feet away from Rosalia.
Dungeon Master?
This
Temple
is
will
about
go-
where we need to end, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a short session, but, you know,
Yep,
got
that's
some
fine.
other stuff
No
to
worries.
do IRL. Wanted to at
Thanks for
least
getting
get
me
something
addicted
in.
this week, guys.
This was entertaining. I felt
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening for Serpent's Fable Dungeons and Dragons. I am Raw Zim. We're going to go ahead and end about here. I will probably be back on Tuesday, provided the game gets together and stuff. So do check us out then. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We got links for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Patreon, all those good things there on the website, as well as down in the description below. Thank you to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. It is because of all of you that I'm able to continue bringing these streams to you all. And yeah, thanks again so much for joining, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye! Bye, everybody!
Goodbye, heathens.
Anyways, that was fun.